So yesterday we have started the compliances part and we discussed about what is mean by compliance definition, and also now we have already started ISO 27001 and also we discussed about other compliances. Now we are going to discuss about in-depth analysis. Already have started ISO 27001. It is nothing but implementation of information security management system. It is called as ISMS. So under the ISMS, we do have the 18 clauses. Those 18 clauses are divided into 114 controls. First 14 clauses belongs to senior management or board of the directors. Those clauses, it will represent context of the organization, and also it will represent about how to do the planning of the ISMS, and also it will provide about team hierarchy. So who is the CEO, CTO, CISO, CFO, and like a ladder kind of thing, it will provide the team hierarchy, and also it will provide out how to do the planning of the ISMS, and also it will provide about leadership. So who is doing what? So that particular things can be provided by first 4 clauses. Remaining 14 clauses. So 18 minus 4. So 4 are belongs to senior management. Remaining 14 clauses are belongs to the completely organization security. So those clauses are, so those 14 clauses are, it will start already 4, as I said, it is belongs to the senior management. It will start with A5. A is nothing but applicability, statement of applicability, SOA. It is enter a question. What is my SOA or statement of applicability? Statement of applicability, it will provide about the rules and regulation for each and every object and control. Okay. So now A5, it is belongs to information security policy. Yesterday I given 1 or 2 controls, what to do and how to do. In the similar way, A6 organization of information security. A7 it is belongs to human security, and A8 is this belongs to asset management. Whatever assets are there in the organization, we have to do the managing of those assets and also identifying of the risk. And A9 it is belongs to access control. We have to provide the access control list on each and every endpoint, network, application, cloud, infrastructure, database. So whatever assets we do have. On the cryptography side, so we did not discuss yet. So cryptography, it's a part of the application security. So cryptography also, it's very, very important. So those parts, whether we are using the weak ciphers or strong ciphers, whether we are using the SLTLS certificates or not, all those cryptography controls, it will fall under the A10. Next one is physical and environmental security. So whether we are using any secure related controls under the, whenever the employee is entering into the organization side, is there security guard is there or not? Is there any CCTV cameras are available or not? In the similar way, how the entrance, and so if you are using any lift, what are the security measures we have taken care? So all those will fall under the physical and environmental related security. Next one is operation security. Operation security to fall under the our SOC operations. So cyber security SOC operation, not only just cyber security operations, even any operations whatever we are doing, that may be cloud operations or cyber security SOC operation or network operations or Windows operations or Linux operations, all those any operation oriented L1 or L2 or L3, so or tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 related. So operational related things will fall under the operational security. Next one is communication security. So it is a part of the network and telecommunication security. So for this one, we should coordinate the network administrator. Next one is system acquisition and development and maintenance. It's a part of the SDLC lifecycle, nothing but application development. So whoever is developing the application side, whether they are using the SDLC lifecycle, in the SDLC lifecycle, are we taking care of the sufficient controls? So we do have the sufficient controls, whether we are implementing all those or not. For example, whether we are doing the threat modeling in the design level, in the development level, in the part of the CI/CD pipeline, are we running the code scan or not? So even in the development level itself, whether we are running the TPS scans or not. Once the feature is going to the testing level, are we doing the penetration testing or testing tools using Selenium or Java, any other testing of the feature? And finally, we are releasing to the operational part. So that will fall under the A14. It's a part of the SDLC lifecycle. In case if it is a product, then product related SDLC lifecycle, product development, product requirement, product design, product So CI/CD pipeline, product testing features, and finally product operations. So that is a part of the A14. So next one is supplier relationship. Whatever tools we are purchasing or whatever uh, things we are purchasing from the any supplier. So what is the controls we are following? For that control, we have to validate, and do we have evidence or not? Information security incident management. Whenever any security incident is triggered on the physical security perspective or endpoint or maybe network or application or cloud. So total end to end from the entire organization perspective. So we have to go on to whether we have implemented the sufficient controls or not. So all those things we have to validate as the auditor. Next one is information security accepts business continuity management. So it's like whenever any natural calamities or earthquakes or any other things it will happen. So in that scenario, are we using the BCP, business continuity process, and disaster recovery? So those controls whether we implemented in our organization or not. Do we have the disaster recovery site so far away from the where the main data center is located? So those things we have to validate. Finally, complaints. These complaints are related to patent, copyrights, trademarks, related to legal oriented. For this one, we have to contact the legal team. Every company, even nowadays, they are recruiting the legal team also. So whenever any legal issues will occur, so those lawyers or legal team, they will go on, they will resolve the issues. So mainly water product development, almost most of the product development, they have the patents. So how they are developing the product. For that one, so whether any evidences are there in the similar way, any legal oriented and compliances oriented will fall under the A18. So now as a internal auditor or maybe external auditor, what we have to do? So if you want to get all those these, okay, so these 14 clauses are divided into 114 controls. Give me 1 second. Yeah, these 14 clauses are divided into 114 controls. So yesterday I was showing one of the sheet that is called compliance applicability sheet or statement of applicability sheet. Now as a auditor, so we have to validate first 4 clauses from the senior management side. As I said, leadership, governance, nothing but objectives and goals and vision and mission of the company and strategic planning. So next one is context of the organization, how to achieve by implementing the information security thing. But at the time of the auditing, these 4 you no need to explain, but you have to take the initiative. So whenever respect to team, they will come, they will explain about all those evidences part, whether do they have or not. So from the scratch, if we want to implement ISO 27001, what we should do and what we should not do, I'll explain. Give me some time. So now here, these 114 controls. So what we have to do? We have to contact the different stakeholders. So as a auditor, so now information security policies, which team we have to contact? Information security team, nothing but our team only. Our team, organizations of information security. It's a combination of both senior management and also our information security team. Stakeholder, I am saying, by with whom you are speaking so that you will get the evidences. So human resource security, HR team or talent acquisition team. Asset management, asset inventory team. So access control, network team. Cryptography, application development team. I can keep even security as well, both, combination of both. Physical and environmental related security. So we do have the physical security team. So that physical security team we have to contact. Operational security. So we have to contact, there are so many teams. Windows, Linux, cloud, network, endpoint, SOC, and so on, extra. So next one is communication security team. For this one, once again, we have to contact the network administrator or network engineers. So system acquisition, development, and maintenance, it's a part of the SDL. So in case our organization does not fall under the product development, what are the applications we are developing? Take example of TCS company. TCS is not developing any product development. They are developing only consulting and service based company. For those scenario, we have to contact the only application development team. Maybe example, you can go HP or IBM. It's a product come. So even operational support. So they are taking care of both consulting and also services along with product development. So for those scenarios, we have to call up the product development team also. Otherwise, you can take Robert Bosch, or maybe you can take Honeywell. For those scenarios, we have to contact the product developers also. So here I will keep application development team slash product development team. In the SDLC lifecycle, whatever controls they are using, all those controls we have to validate by sitting with them. Next one is supplier relationship. So for this one, we have supplier team. So those team we have to contact. So whenever any acquisition or merging or maybe dismantling is happening, so those team we have to contact. Information security incident management. This is almost equals to what we discussed under the above operational security. So same as it is, because instances will not only will fall under the our cyber security SOC operation. Incident is nothing but every team. So even network operation security team also they have the bug or issues. Even Windows team also they have the vulnerability management related issues. Even application development team also they have the bugs. So related to coding part or programming part. Okay, so we have to contact almost all the team. And information security aspects and business continuity management. For this one, we have to contact the BCP and DR, business continuity planning and disaster recovery team. So this is the separate team. And finally, A18, it is belongs to compliance. So for this one, we have to contact the legal team. So these many teams we have to coordinate. So from the scratch, if you want to implement ISO 27001 to implement information security management system. So when I say from the scratch, we don't have already existing ISO 27000 certification. So now we are implementing. For example, maybe take you are developed or you established one of the startup company. So that may be related to food or maybe restaurant or bar, maybe any other thing, or maybe whatever it may be. Okay. So from the scratch, if we want to do this one, what we have to do? First, we have to call. We have to initiate kickoff meeting. We have to call all the stakeholders. So if you want to get the business, we have to do ISO 27000 certificate. So to get the trustworthy from the customers. So this is the way one of the kickoff meeting you have to provide by calling all the directors or managers, all these directors or managers, whoever is a part of the team. Otherwise, you can ask our senior management whom we have to invite. So that senior management or site leader or board of the director, they will nominate from each and every team who is responsible and accountable to complete overall ISO 27001 implementation side. So now whoever is nominated part of this particular ISO 27000 project, for those people we have to invite. There is no need to call every employee in the organization to participate ISO 27001. Okay, so maybe directors or maybe managers or maybe subject matter experts, whoever it may be. So they will nominate, each and every team they will nominate. So those people we will invite and we'll give the kickoff meeting. So we are planning to implement ISO 27001 in our organization. For that one, we need evidences. Okay, so in the first session, what we are going to discuss, so implementing of the ISO 27001, and after that, I will share this sheet with all the team members, or maybe I'll keep in the common folder that may be in the OneDrive or maybe anywhere file server. So each and every team, you can go through this one related to your portion. And in case if you have any doubts, I can make individually separate calls to each and every team, then I can gather the evidences and I can explain. Why? Because for every time you are calling and scheduling the meeting with all these 14 teams, it's a complicated to other team members also. Their time also they are going to lose it. So that is the reason. First initial call you can schedule to every team member by kickoff meeting to initiate about implementing of ISO 27001. After completing that initial call, whoever is nominated, now each and every person you can call. Now first thing is, for example, information security policies. As an information security manager or GRC consultant as auditor side, now maybe I will call information security manager. Nothing but our team. For this one, we no need to call other teams also. I can gather and I will go and I'll gather the evidences. So for this one also same thing, information security manager. For human resource security, take example of HR team. Now I will schedule a call with the human resource team, HR team. So, and I will explain about what I need from your side. Okay, all those control I'll explain. So are you following this process in your HR team or not? Are you implementing this process or not? Did you implement or do you have the evidence or not? Or in case you did not implement that process or control, how many days it will take to provide the evidence? So this is the way. It's not ready-madely, it is not available for each and every evidence. We have to give some time. That's what I'm saying yesterday also. It will take approximate to complete overall ISO 27001. Maybe it will vary from organization to organization, but minimum it will take 3 months and maximum it will take 6 months. In my previous organization, we started information implementing of ISO 27000 part of ISMS in September, and finally we completed in April. Okay, so almost it took 6 months, 6 to 7 months to complete the gathering of the evidence, scheduling of the team meetings to other stakeholder, and final gathering of the evidences. Couple of times we have to implement the tools also. So that is the reason it will take longer time. Okay, so for example, HR team. So now for the HR team side, I will go and I'll explain. So these are all the controls we need. First of all, we have to ask whether already these processes are implemented, these controls are implemented. It's not implemented. So then how much time it will take to provide the evidence to me? So that is the way for each and every team. In the similar way, asset management. So whoever is handling the asset inventory, like a laptop or MacBook and workstation, or maybe servers and databases. So whether they are they implemented already or they are going to implement couple of security controls. So where can we get all those controls by the way? So in this Excel sheet, this Excel sheet is a common to every team. Okay, so for all those 14 team members, controls are available here. Now, whenever I'm going to schedule a call with HR team, I'll speak with HR team related controls. Whenever I'm going to schedule a call with the network administrator, I will discuss about network administrator related controls. Whenever I'm going to schedule a call with the SDLC or application development team, I'm going to discuss about application development related controls. For example, we'll go and we will see there are two different types of controls. So maybe practical side, I will go with HR team and I will go to the application development team. How to do and what to do. In the similar way, same as it is, you should speak with all these 14 team members. So first you have to schedule and initiate 14 different meetings to 14 different time slots. So then you can explain about each and every control, description, name, and whether evidence already is available. So whether it is complaint or not, in case it's not complaint, how much time it will take, whether it is complaint fully or partially, first of all, non-compliant. Okay. So in a similar way, we have to go to the cryptography part of the application development, and we have to coordinate with the physical and environmental related security team as well, and operation security team and communication security team and so on. Okay, so how to do that? So for example, now all people who have joined in this class, maybe you are belongs to HR team. Now I am the information security manager or internal auditor team. So I already initially provided the kickoff meeting completed. Now I already scheduled the HR team so that I want to explain. So what you have to do and what you have to submit as evidence. That one I am going to discuss so that you will understand practically. And I will take one more example, maybe application security as well. Okay, these things we are going to discuss practically. Let's go and discuss now. So when I schedule a call with HR team, what I will do, I will go to directly HR portion. I no need to wait for other each and every portion. So A6 or A7, 1 second. So A, you can see what is the HR team, A7. Now all who have joined in this class, maybe your HR team. So A7 is belongs to human resource security. Now I am the auditor. So before going to gather the evidences, first I already scheduled and you joined the call. Now I'll ask one by one whether do you have the already fully compliant. If it is compliant, give the evidence. It's non-compliant, how much time it will take. For example, so first one is prior to employment. Because you are a part of the HR team, before employment of any candidate, so what are the controls you have to follow? I'm trying to explain now. So screening of the resume, A711, screening of the resume. So screening of the resume, so according screening of the candidate also, background verification checks. We have to do the BGV on all candidates for employment shall be carried within accordance with relevant laws, regulations, ethics, and shall be proportional to the business requirement. So whatever business vacancy it is available, so whatever hiring manager they are looking for, so whether the candidate has the ethical values to complete or to hire the candidate, and also whether he is legally acceptable to work in this country, okay, or state. So in this similar way, the classification of the information should be accessed the preventive risk. So whether we are screening the right candidate or not by doing the BGV checks. That is the prior to employment. Prior to employment meaning here, so before maybe screening of the resume, right candidate we are selecting or not. And legally he's working in this country or not. So first of all, skill set is matching or not. He is following ethics and values based on the whatever requirement we do have or not. Technically he is expert or not. Okay, so that is one thing. Now HR team. So this is the complaints name. This is the complaints name, screening of the resume and screening of the candidate. And this is the overall control description and whether it is a complaint or non-complaint or fully complaint. Non-complaint or complaint or fully complaint. So HR team already following the process. So where is the document is available? Example, they are following. Yes, they are following. So at least we need one of the candidate evidence here. So maybe example, they are recruiting one of the tester. So the tester related resume, maybe they can attach here. Okay. So that evidence we have to attach here. So in case they did not implement this process, now I will ask you, because all people are belongs to HR team, how much time you need to complete this task. So already you are compliant and you are following the same process to verifying the ethics and values of the candidate, and also skill set is matching to the resume, whatever hiring manager is required for, everything is fine. Then please attach that candidate resume here, or please provide where you are following that process. Maybe one or two people's resumes. You can provide either link here, or maybe you can provide almost we can provide the link here. So that is the first thing. So auditor will go and will verify whether their HR team is following correctly or not. Okay, so that one. So justification yes, and we have to provide the link. So which team has to provide the link? HR team has to provide the link or evidence. Second one, terms and conditions of the employment. So the contractual requirement with the employees and also contractors shall state their and the organization responsibilities for information security. So once the candidate, whatever roles and responsibilities we are looking for, so whether the terms and condition he's accepting, like a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, why the companies will always, once you are getting the offer letter, so you have to do the sign on the offer letter. And also you have to sign on the NDA agreement, non-disclosure agreement. Company's information should not reveal to other people. So that may be full-time employees or contractual employees. Okay. So now HR team has to provide, yes, they are following. Example. Now S here, justification also S. So provide that, okay, so one of the candidate already has this sign related to any of the offer letter. That offer letter link, we have to provide the evidence here. So link. Okay. So now maybe next time meeting, I will ask. Now I'm coordinating. So this is what you have to do and this is what you have to do. I will ask now. If it's already available, then you have to give the answer. Now link. I need, but next time once again, whenever I'm going to schedule the meeting, now you have to provide the evidence. Or you have to upload here directly. I'll give access to each and every HR team member here. Whoever is nominated initially, main point of the contact, POC. Next one, during the employment. So that is prior to employment, before is going to join the organization side. Screening of the resume, maybe after selecting contractual agreement in between company by doing the signing of the offer letter, and also terms and conditions, whatever it is applied in the offer letter, he should accept. So that is part of the prior to employment. During the at the time of the employment, what are the controls we have to follow? Management responsibilities, whatever roles and responsibilities we have sent the candidate. So management shall require all employees and contractors to apply information security in accordance with the established policies and procedures of the organization. Whatever roles and responsibility is defined to the candidate, whether is able to do or not. Okay, sometimes non-skill set people, if we are recruiting, is not able to perform, then we will provide PMP, performance management system, or improve part. We'll give 1 or 2 months. So in case he is doing well, so what is the evidence here? In case he is not doing the well, what is the evidence here? And also we have to inform what is meant to information security policies to the candidate when the is going to join during the employment. This one. Okay. Next one, same thing. Now, whoever is nominated for the HR side point of the contact, I will ask whether this control already in place right now in the HR team. So if it is already in place, then please provide the evidence. If it is not in place, so how much time you need? For example, it's non-compliant right now. Now I'll ask how many days you need the time to complete this process, and so when you will provide the evidence, maybe they need 2 weeks time period. I will give 2 weeks time period, and I will keep comment here. HR team needs 2 weeks to provide evidence. So this is the way each and every control. Next one, information security awareness, education and training. Once the candidate is joined, HR team responsibility is induction training. That is the reason. So once the employee joining in a company, why they will in the first day itself, first day or second day, whatever it may be, in first 1 week time period, they will conduct induction training. In that induction training, they will explain HR policies. They will explain about IT policies. They will explain about security policies. So they will explain about financial related policies. They'll explain about when you will get the payment related to everybody. They will bring it in that induction. Total 6 to 7 sessions they will conduct. Okay, that whose responsibility? That responsibility is from the HR team side. Conducting of the induction training, calling of the each and every other team members. First business guy will come, related to he'll explain to overall company. Okay, so for example, maybe you select a State Bank of India. Now State Bank of India HR team at the time of the induction. So first State Bank of India business team, they'll come and they'll explain out. So what is the importance of the State Bank of India? So he will give overall half an hour session or 1 hour session related to State Bank of India. Next maybe half an hour, it is belongs to HR. So next half an hour, it is belongs to IT. So once you are onboarded after providing the laptop, so if you need any software installation or changing of the password or maybe installing of the, so any IT related issues or hardware related issues, whom we have to contact. So that email address and everything they'll provide. Next one is financial part. So when you will get the, okay, so overall salary, so at the end of the month or starting of the month, all those policies and procedures, income tax, everything can be explained by finance team. And HR team, they will explain about, so insurance and also paid leave or sick leave, all those part. So finally, they will hand over your candidature to whoever hiring manager. So that process is implemented by HR team or not. So that is mean by information security awareness, education and training. So whether this process is already implemented by, because this one is a part of the HR guy, whoever is continuously he is approaching you. So till screening of the resume to till onboarding. So HR team roles and responsibilities, and also handovering your candidature to your hiring manager. So whether HR team is following that process, they are following, for example. So then I will ask, please provide the evidence. So that is about during the employment. So this control. So here either they can provide the link where the document is available, or maybe they can provide, so whatever they need. Either document also fine. Next one. So PII in public clouds acting as PII process. So PII of the end user data of the candidate should not expose to the public. In case if there is any cloud applications, candidature PII data, personal identifiable information, should not expose to the public. So whether those sufficient controls are available or not. So that is one of the case. Disciplinary actions. So whenever any employee, so whoever is onboarded during the employment, right now we are discussing about during the employment. So maybe he has done the sexual harassment to, or maybe manager, whoever it may be. So, or maybe is not able to deliver his roles and responsibilities or his technical skills, whatever position he recruited. So, so in the offer letter itself, under the terms and conditions, we can take the disciplinary action by terminating the candidate, or any other ways illegal activities he is trying to do, is copying of the data related to DLP. Okay, so that process implemented in the HR team side or not. Okay, so now, so I will ask, because you are part of the HR team, whether that particular disciplinary action process is implemented. It's implemented, or for example, not implemented. So, or non-compliant. How many days you need to implement this process? Whether you need 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. For example, 1 week. After 1 week, I will coordinate with you. Okay, next one. Termination of, straight away they will not give the, okay, so termination, they will give the warning first initially. Termination and change of the employment. So once the candidate is resigned or terminated from the organization side, what is the process HR team is implemented? Termination or change of the employment status. Information security responsibilities and duties that remain valid. So after termination or change of the employment shall be defined, communicated the employee of contracted and enforced. So once the candidate is resigned, so are you following the sufficient process to remove the access to the laptop, remove the access to the Outlook? Otherwise, candidate, once you'll go from the outside, if you are not providing the, if you're not removing the access, maybe you will send the emails. Okay, so that process is implemented or not? For example, implemented, yes. So then where is the evidence? Then they have to provide the evidence here. So that is about overall. So even this termination, it's a part of either companies terminating the candidate, or maybe candidate has put the resignation side. There are two ways. So these are all things are related to HR. Now, so there are two non-compliant. Those two non-compliant, whatever things are there, and also whatever I need evidences, they have to complete. Next subsequent whatever call I'm going to schedule it by that time. So whatever they committed, they have to provide this information. If they don't provide, then I will ask once again why you did not provide and when you are going to provide. Now I'm the auditor now. This is the way, just by providing the evidence also, just not like that. So just they are putting some of the document. As auditor, I will go and I will read everything properly. It is there in the documents or not. Everything properly, evidence is available or not. I have to validate that one. Now I am doing internal audit, for example. Okay. So this is related to A7 under the HR related side. Let's go and discuss about one more complaints or control. Shall we go with the SDLC life cycle? It is easy for you, so that our next topic is application security. A14. Yesterday already I explained about information security policies. Anything is fine. Any control we can go and we can discuss. It's fine. But you should be aware of all these 114 controls. Yeah, maybe we can go to network and communication security 13. After that, we can go to A14. Communication security. It's a network communication security. We have to, for this one, as a auditor or as a information security manager, I have to schedule a call with the network administrator or network engineers or telecommunication team. Basically, telecommunication and network is a part of the same team. So now I have to coordinate to get these controls and evidences. Directly, I will not ever ask evidences. Basically, in the first call, I will explain what I need from you as a auditor and how much time it will take. Okay. First control, network security management. So network side. So A13.1.1, that is the first network controls. Under the network controls, now all your belongs to network security team. Now I am the auditor. So I'll explain now. Networks shall be managed and controlled to protect information in systems and applications. So this is the control. Whatever LAN, local area network you are using, or WAN, wide area network you are using, or whatever network architecture diagram you define, part of the trust zone or DMZ or DMZ zone or untrust zone. Are you controlling the, and also are you protecting information related to data? So do you have the sufficient tools are available, and you are controlling the systems, and also you are controlling the end user machines, and also you are controlling of the applications. Do you have right now this one in the place or not? So that is the control name. So now I'll ask this question. So you can say yes or no. If it is yes, for example, I implemented firewall in the perimeter side. Maybe you are saying the answer now. Or I implemented DOS or DDoS protection in parallel to ISP router. Okay. So, or I implemented secure web gateway proxy server, or I implemented network IDS, network IPS, defense in depth layer approach, network three-tier architecture diagram. So you are giving this is the way how to give the answer. Now, as auditor, I will verify. So whether really all those controls are available or not. For this one, you have to provide the evidence now. Okay. Now, second control. Security of network services. So whatever network services we are using, for that one, security is implemented. For example, security mechanisms, service level agreements, management requirements of all the network services shall be identified and included in network services agreements whenever these services are provided in-house of outsourced. In case if you are giving this network security like a firewall or proxy or NADS and APS or web application or DOS or DDoS protection, we are giving project to some other third party. like a contractors. So now, do we have the sufficient controls available or not in between outsourced company like a third party company to us? Whether they have done the so sign before coming and access to our security tools. Okay. So now one of the candidate is selected contract employee part of the Cognizant and he is working on the firewall side. So in that scenario, so these controls should be implemented. Or maybe, so I'm part of DMart. I'm the CEO of the DMart. Now I'm giving the project to Wipro. Now Wipro is taking care of my firewall level 1, level 2, level 3 operations. And Wipro company is taking care of my proxy L1 or L2 or L3 operations. Or so Wipro company is taking care of my network IDS and network IPS L1 and L2, L3 operation in the similar way, DOS and DDoS protection side. In between DMart and Wipro, service level agreements. Whenever any critical security incident is triggered from the DMart infrastructure side, so already sufficient service level agreement is defined in between Wipro and also DMart. And also critical severity, high level severity, and low level severity, medium level severity. In case Wipro is not able to complete the task, whatever time limits we define, so then DMart company has a right to define the even fines also. For example, DMart cashier machine is got compromised. So now, so that investigation Wipro team has to complete in 4 hours. But unfortunately, Wipro company is not able to complete in 4 hours. So now, as a DMart, so whatever terms and conditions are accepted at the time of the project, I'm giving to the Wipro company. So now, as a CEO or project manager, so for any SLA breach, Wipro company has payback to DMart $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000. So that process is there in place or not. So that is meant by security of network services. If it's there, then you can define, you can provide that service level agreements and everything. It's a complaint or not. It's not complaint, then how many days it will take? It's not only for just one project, it's for multiple projects. So maybe, so network security team, they said like they need 3 weeks to provide this evidence because they have to coordinate with the customer. Okay. Now, segregation in networks. So whatever network we are doing, so that segregation of network, user network, that is called network segmentation. Why we have to define the network segmentation or micro segmentation? Every end user should not access everything in the organization side. So for that one, we have to do the segmentation side. So for example, our companies belongs to product development. For example, take Quest Global. Quest Global is an aviation based company and they will develop the airports oriented products. Now, what the products is developing by, or maybe take Honeywell also, they are developing related to building oriented products. Or take Nokia, so they are taking on product development related to telecom. Or take Philips, so they are developing, there are so many fields. Healthcare industry is very famous on the Philips side. Now, so for product development side, they will follow SDLC life cycle. So requirement phase, design phase, development phase, testing phase, pre-production, and finally release phase. Everywhere we have to do the segmentation. So that segmentation who will do? Product development team will not do. Network engineers has to do. Network administrator of the Philips company has to do. So network administrator now, design team end user has to sit in this VLAN, virtual LAN. This is the IP address. And network administrator, they will define developers of the Philips company, whoever is developing the healthcare related products, they will sit from in this location. This is the IP address range. And testers of the Philips developers, whoever is developing the product related company, so then they have to sit in this location. And this is the IP address range. So this is the way they will do the segmentation. Developers should not touch related to tester environment. Testers should not touch the development environment. So in this vice versa, in this similar way, so developers should not touch the design team, software architects environment, and all software architects should not touch the so developers environment. So that one we can call segmentation side. Not only that segmentation, take example, our company is not belongs to the okay, so product development. So maybe a retail based company. Okay, so now all the HR team, so this is the VLAN I'm defining. All the application development, this is the VLAN. All the HR team, this is the VLAN, virtual LAN, and all Windows servers team, this is the VLAN. All the Linux of this is the virtual LAN. So we can go and we can do the segmentation side. All the servers one segmentation, all the end users one segmentation. Even though we divided our network architecture diagram into trust, DMZ or DMZ, and finally untrust. Those places also we can do the segmentation. Okay, so you can see now. So auditor meaning here, you should know about overall what other team member also will do. Then only he is a capability of GRC consultant. GRC only 3 letters word, but he should be aware of everything what other team members also doing. Then only he will become auditor. Okay, so now network administrator has to provide this control. So as evidence, so then provide that evidence. Network administrator has to provide that evidence. It's a complaint, they have to provide evidence here, part of the link. Next one, information security transfer policies and procedures. So in the network side, formal transfer policies, procedures, and controls shall be in place to protect the transfer of information through the use of all types of communication facilities. So whenever any information they are transferring to other team members, what is the process they are following? Whether they are following any documentation or not. So do we have the documentation, yes or no? In case it is yes, they will provide the evidence. In case no, so they will provide how many days you need, whether you will complaint or non-complaint compulsory. Okay, that is the way I should ask now. Next one, privacy of the information. In the network side, are you implementing privacy control and also PIA data controls? These two controls available. So any privacy of the data through network devices, are you protecting or not? For this one, maybe they are saying example firewall we implemented, or proxy we implemented, or DOS protection we implemented in the perimeter side, or network IDS network as I implemented. Agreements for information transfers. Agreements shall address the secure transfer of business information between the organization and external parties. This already explained in the previous one. Whenever we are giving any project to third party, in between our company to other third party, so do we have the sufficient agreement to access our network? Because so maybe you are getting DMART project, you are controlling my organization related network from Wipro. How can I trust you? So whatever, okay, so agreement, a water project I given DMART to Wipro, now Wipro has to sign on that one. So related to service level agreements, they should not leak PII data of my DMART customers. They should not so leak of whatever confidential data is available, that agreement sign. So here maybe project related agreement we have to attach here. Electronic messaging, whatever emails we are sending in between through network, for example, Office 365. So appropriately that one, not just only electronic messages through email, so that may be through any digital oriented messages we are sending. Information involved, electronic message shall be appropriately protected. For this one, we have to implement encryption. Example, what are emails is sending via network through LAN using Office 365 from external to internal and also internal to external. So whether it's a confidential data, whether we are doing data classification or not to that particular email, whether it is the internal email or whether we are sharing to external, what is confidentiality and severity of the electronic message we are transferring. Okay, so that evidence, confidentiality or non-disclosure agreement, something data or project we are giving to some other people, are they signing the project? As I said example already, so DMart is giving project to Wipro company has to do this sign non-disclosure agreement. So DMart related confidential data, our employees of the L1 or L2 or L3 should not disclose. So that's why they will take the agreement. That is the reason whenever you are onboarding X company, so as a client, you will not get immediate access. Client has to approve and candidate has to do this sign to that client. It will take 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, sometimes even one month also. If you want to work for client. Yeah, that's it. So that is about, so network and telecommunication security controls. In the similar way, system acquisition, development and maintenance belongs to application security side. So A14, security requirements of information systems, information security requirements, analyst and also specification. The information security related requirements shall be included in the requirements for new information system or enhancement to existing information system. Whenever any new feature we are developing or existing feature we are modifying, so for that one, are we implementing security procedures or not? So we have to ask application developers, whenever any new feature they are developing or existing feature they are modifying, so do they have the sufficient controls in the application side or not, or product side or not? So part of the SDLC. So yes or no? So that they have to provide the evidence. Maybe WhatsApp recording with audio and video call. Right now that feature is not available. Now part of the Meta, part of the WhatsApp company, so they have to implement this feature. It's a new feature now. So for this one, they are implementing information security procedures or not. So everything confidential or not, end-to-end encrypted or not. So this is one of the evidence they need. I need as an information security manager. Securing application services on public networks. So whatever application developers are developing, it is facing to the internet, meaning what? So any public, they can access that application. So whether whatever applications public they are accessing, take example of apollohospitals.com or iccsnetbanking.com or irctc.com or zomato.com or phonepe.com. So all these are publicly, anybody can access it. So whoever developers, they are developing these websites or applications, they are securing that applications from the security perspective or not. Through example, HTTPS by implementing 443, through implementing SLTLS certificates, through implementing secure code reviews to do the threat modeling side, testing of the testing feature and everything. So do they have the sufficient controls? All it is there in place or not? Not only that one, even strong password policies when the user is giving the username and password or sign up side. Okay, so that is the meaning of the control. Now, as auditor, I'll ask now application development team. All these controls already you placed in the application development side, yes or no? If you implemented yes, then provide the evidence. If it's not implemented, how many days you need it to provide the evidence? In the similar way, protecting application services transaction. So in case that application belongs to any financial transaction through third-party payment gateway. Example, maybe you are the developer now and you are developing one of the application that belongs to travel-based one. Example, IRCTC. Maybe you are the developer now. You are developing one of the food-based app that may be Zomato or Swiggy. Once the customer or client, whatever quantity of the food or whatever item they need, they place in the cart and finally they are going to the payment. So it will go to third party payment gateway. That may be through cash and delivery, or that may be through UPI transaction, that may be through any other payment gateway. Now, application developer, whatever he has done the food related or travel related app, so how the protection mechanism, because customer credit card data, debit card data, and also UPI transaction data, all those confidential related PIA data, it is there in the apps. Because we will add our debit card and credit card, all those related details in our phone pay, Google Pay, Swiggy, or maybe any other apps also. That may be retail as well, Amazon or whoever it may be, whatever app it may be. How the application developers are protecting that data. Okay, so that evidence is there or not? So that evidence we need. So as auditor, I will ask, do you have the, so that application security mechanisms are implemented whenever any transaction is doing by the customer or public? Are we safeguarding or securing and protecting of the customer's data related to debit card and credit card or any phone number or email address or transaction related details? Secure development policy. So developers, whenever they are developing the code using the any programming language, that may be Java based or full stack developer or Angular JS or Node.js or ASP.NET or C Sharp or Python or PowerShell, whatever programming language they are using, they are implementing in the development part of the CI/CD pipeline. So developers, they are using the secure way of coding the code or not. They are implementing secure design guidelines principles, secure coding principles or not. Okay, if they are following, yes, please provide what is the development. So obviously we have to provide WASP top 10. Now developer has to provide, we are following WASP top 10 secure guidelines principles, how to develop the code in the secure way. So for this one, we need evidence. As auditor, I will ask now to developers or application development team or product development team, please share evidence. In the similar way, system change control procedures. Whenever the application developers, they want to change the feature from existing one, or they want to upgrade the application version, or they want to upgrade the product version, do they have the change management process implemented or not, based on the ITIL process or based on the our NAST framework? If it is their part of the software development life cycle, please provide one of the practical scenario where you have done the change management process upgradation, product upgradation. So they have to provide one of the evidence here. Who has to provide? Either developer of the application development team or product development team. Now as auditor, I will ask, do you have the sufficient evidence is there in the place? If it is there, they will provide the evidence. If it is not there, they need how much time? According to that one, I'll give time to them. Technical review of application, other operating platforms and changes. So here, any technical oriented platforms, that may be business criticality of the application, that are reviewing and tested. You can see here, when the operating platforms are changed, business critical applications shall be reviewed and tested by ensure there is no adverse impact or organization on the operation security. Water application developers they are developing, water product application, product developers they are developing, is there any business impact related to availability? Whenever any application outage related issues will occur, do the technical review document is there in place or not? So next one, restriction on changes to software packages. Whatever third party softwares they are using, that may be commercial, that may be open source. For example, Spring Boot framework, React to JS, or Node.js, or OpenSSL, or Log4j, or so HTTP or whatever TPS third party software they are using for application development side. All those packages, legally it should be accepted or not. So modification can we do or not? Are we using any legacy version of the software? So we should not use legacy versions of the software. Otherwise, zero-day vulnerabilities it will happen. Attacker will hack our application. Up to date, latest software version are we using in the application development and product development? If you are using, you can give one of the practical example. So whatever you are using, that may be Apache or Tomcat or Log4j or Node.js or React to JS or Python or PowerShell or maybe Oracle or Java or OpenJDK and so on. Take one of the example and give that one of the example. Yes, we are using this one in my application development and product development. This is the latest version we are already deployed. Secure system engineering principles. Are we implementing engineering principle to secure our systems to develop the application development or product development? Secure development environment. Do you have the development environment securely or not? Already this one I discussed. So development environment, testing environment, everything should be segregated. Developers should not access the testing, and testing team should not access the development. Non-production team, they should not access the testing environment. Design team, they should not access the development environment. Everywhere restrictions are available. Are we using secure development environment in our organization whenever you are developing your applications or products? Outsource development. In case we are recruited third-party developers, we recruited for third-party contractors. We recruited contractors for the application team side. So those contractors, like a third party, the organization shall be supervise, and monitor activity of outsourced system development. Maybe the third party contractors, I recruited one of the developer as a contractor. That for me code is very, very critical. Okay. So, or maybe I recruited one of the product developer as a contractor in my organization. Okay. Now, so that contractor, whoever I recruited, maybe he can copy the data. If I don't have the patents, then he will develop his own development company. For example, take pharma, take Aravindo, take MSN, take maybe Redis Lab, or take any other whatever pharma-based company, heterodrugs and so on. So they know about how to develop the resistant development related pills or tablets or injections. They know about chemical formula. So one of the contractor recruited as a to develop the tablets or pills or injection side. So that person has copied all of my formula. Maybe tomorrow, if I don't have the patents from my side, he will put his own company by keeping that formula in his mind. So that's why we should monitor that contractor, whether he is taking any data or not. On the development side, system security testing. Whatever applications we are developing and whatever product we are developing, are we doing the penetration testing or not before that feature is going to the live or release phase? It's a penetration test, VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Testing of security functionality shall be carried with during the development side. When the feature is completed and the normal functional testing, so penetration testing team, they are completing the penetration testing for that application or product or mobile or OT or IoT device, whatever business you are doing. As auditor, I will ask now. So now, whatever penetration testing report you have with you in handy, it is ready-made available. You can attach that report here. It's not penetration testing is not implemented yet. How many days you need to complete penetration testing? Maybe I need 1 month. Right now, it's non-compliant. Now I am the auditor. System acceptance testing. Once penetration testing is complete, there are no vulnerabilities are existing. Finally, so user acceptance test. So that system acceptance, it is ready to go live. We can release the feature to the public. So that acceptance testing is completed successfully from the performance perspective, from the compatibility perspective, from the availability perspective, from security perspective. So even slowness of the project, everything you have to validate on the application side, on product side, or mobile side. Whatever business you are doing, by the way. I'm taking a couple of examples here. If you have that one testing, please provide the evidence before releasing to the feature to the public. Example, maybe Apple tomorrow, they are releasing Apple 17. So they have to complete all those normal testing, and also they have to complete the VAPT testing. They have to complete user accept testing before that mobile is going to release to the public. So that is called system acceptance testing. That's it. Yeah, we have some other data. Protection of test data. So even whatever data we are keeping on the application side or mobile side or product side, the data shall be carefully. So for example, maybe in that application side, user is giving the username and password. Okay, wherever the user is providing user data, that should not logged into the logs. For example, maybe you are logging into Facebook, username and password. That username and password should not go on. It should not. Okay, so keep under the logs. You should do masking. Otherwise, Facebook development, Facebook SOC operations, they can see what are username and password you entered. Okay, so that one we have to do masking of the where our confidential data it is available. That's called data anonymization. So that's it, guys. That is on the system acquisition and development side and merging. It's a part of the any development that may be application development or product development or mobile development or OT development or IoT development or cryptocurrency development or blockchain development. So all those will fall under the 14, A14. As an auditor, I should ask all these questions to them. They have to provide the evidences to me. Now I given 2 to 3 examples. Yesterday I given example, information security related example, evidences how to gather. Today class I given how to gather the HR related evidences as auditor. And I explained about network and telecommunication team side also, how to gather the evidences. And also finally, application developers or product developers or mobile developers or OT developers or IoT developers or cryptocurrency or blockchain developers, how to gather the evidence from them. So you should not be technically full in-depth analysis, but you know what other teams they are doing as a business perspective. You should understand. So then only you'll become auditor. Then only you'll become GRC consultant. This is what they'll expect at the time of the interview. Okay. Are you getting what I'm saying, guys? What is your role as auditor under the ISO 27001? Are you getting or are you sleeping?
No, we are getting clearly.
Okay. So this is what for each and every team till the getting the evidence continuously we have to keep in touch with all the team members. That is the reason, as I said, it will take approximate 3 months to 6 months to complete overall completing of ISO 27. It's not 1 day task or 2 day task. Okay. So it's for only ISO 27000 we are doing now. After completing internal audit, now we have to coordinate the external audit. Now I gathered all the evidences from all the developers. Now I will call once again to review internally before going to do the external audit. Okay, for that one. Okay, so for that one second. Okay, so tomorrow I will continue. For that one, you have to make a PPT and you have to call all these stakeholders. Whoever is nominated initially from all these team members. Initially, they will nominate, as I said, right from the scratch. If you want to do that, you have to call all those nominated person to internal auditing call. And so now as an auditor, then I have to take initiative day 1 and day 2. All these 114 controls I have to validate by speaking with them. So, so this is the way I will make one of the PPT as auditor, part of the GRC under ISO 27001. Now, so in the day 1, what we will do? In the day 2, what is the agenda for day 2? When the lunch time, when the coffee break time, and so on. So total 8 plus 8, 16 hours we have to spend on total internal audit side. If you are getting confident and everything is fine and there are no evidences pending from all the other stakeholders, we are ready to go with the external auditing. We'll call now KPMG or Deloitte or maybe EY, NCC Corporation or PwC to complete external auditing. Okay, so this one I'll explain tomorrow. So in this agenda, what you have to do as auditor. Now, this is only for ISO 27001. Right now we are discussing. In the same as it is, we have to discuss for PCI DSS, GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, SOC 1, SOC 2, FedRAMP. For all those things also same as it is. Process will not change. We are stakeholders. We have to schedule call with them, and we have to gather the evidences, and we have to complete internal audit, and finally we have to call external auditor, and we have to do the certification. That is about overall. So governance role is different, risk management framework is different, and complaints auditor role is different. There are 3 vacancies here itself, and BCPDR vacancy is different. Overall, to manage the information security team consultants, that one is different. And external auditor, if selecting, that vacancy is different. Here itself, we have a lot of vacancies are available. Hope everyone is getting what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, that's all. I know it's bored. I'm not sure whether everybody's understood or not, because it's not one team job. I informed here HR related, information security related, application development related, even network and telecommunication related. That means you should be aware of the entire overall organization. You are a security person, that does not mean that only you should be aware of the security. Think like you are a CEO. So then think like you are a security person. Then you will then you know about everything what business we have to do. That's it, guys. Thank you so very much. Sorry for the brief explanation. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.